Welcome to the next lecture in electronics. We were discussing the semiconductors, and in this particular lecture we will take our discussion forward and we are going to discuss the diodes. So what are diodes and how they function, that we are going to discuss. So we have seen that intrinsic silicon, which is a pure silicon, when it is doped so that one half is basically the N type and other half is basically P type, then it lead to the PN junction between the two regions. So the intrinsic silicon are nothing but the pure silicons which do not have any impurities, and when impurities are given to it, means doping is given to the intrinsic silicons, then we can get N type silicon and P type material. So if one half is of P region and another half is of N region, then you can form a PN junction between the two regions, and these two regions will be separated by some charges that we are going to see. So if we concentrate on the N region, so what happened in the N region? So in the N region you will be having the majority carriers as the free electrons, and the minority carriers are nothing but the holes. So here in the N regions, all the carriers, majority will be the electrons and minority will be the holes. Whereas if we concentrate on the P region, there the majority carriers will be the holes and the minority carriers will be the free electrons. Now the junction between the two regions is known as the PN junction, which forms the basic diode. So when we say the diodes, it is basically PN junction diode, and it is the fundamental for all solid state device operations. So whatever the solid state devices we are going to study, that is based on this PN junction diode operation. Diode is that device which conducts in only one direction. So if you have the conduction of the current to flow only in one direction, that is known as the diode. Now for every free electrons that diffuse across the junction and combine with a hole, a positive charge is left in the N region. So if you see the N region, here we will be having the positive charge formation due to the combination of the holes and the electrons, and a negative charge is formed in the P region. So there will be a negative charge in the P region. Due to separation of these two charges in the P region and N region, we are having a barrier potential. So this barrier potential is nothing but the potential difference between the P region and the N region at the barrier. So this is the barrier potential. The action continues until the barrier potential repel the further diffusion of the charges. So the barrier potential will keep on forming, or the difference of the potential will exist until the further diffusion do not take place between the two junctions. Now we have seen that the two important semiconductor materials are the silicon and the germanium, and at the room temperature, if you see the barrier potential, it will be equal to 0.7 volt for silicon and 0.3 volt for germanium. But germanium are rarely used. We often use silicon as the semiconductor material, and the reason we have discussed in the previous lectures. So the conduction electrons in the N region must overcome both the attraction of the positive ions and the repulsion of the negative ions in order to migrate into the P region. So if you see here in the N region, we have the electrons which are moving. It will be overcoming both the attraction of the positive regions and repulsion of the negative regions. So negative regions, there will be a repulsion, and positive regions it will be an attraction, and then it will be migrating into the P regions. After the ion layers build up, the area on both sides of the junction become essentially depleted of any conduction electrons or holes and known as the depletion region. So here you can see that a region is formed between the two PN junction, and that is known as the barrier potential, and this region is known as the depletion region. So in the depletion region, what happened is that it is depleted of any conducting electrons or holes. Only separation of the charges are there. Now, once we have understood the PN junction diode, we will be studying one important phenomenon, which is the biasing the diode. So what is the meaning of biasing that we are going to see? So a single PN junction forms a semiconductor diode that we have seen. When you have a PN junction single, then it is basically a diode, and the diode is known as the semiconductor diode. There is no current across the PN junction at equilibrium. So when at equilibrium, you will not flow any current across the PN junction. Means no external source is applied or no heat energy has been given till now. The primary usefulness of the semiconductor diode is its ability to allow current in only one direction as determined by the bias. So bias will be determining the current to flow in one direction in the semiconductor diode. Without biasing, the current will not flow. So the term bias, when we use in electronics, it is referred to the fixed DC voltage that sets the operating condition for a semiconductor device. So we are applying a DC voltage external, and that is known as the bias. So this is not only used for semiconductors but other electronic applications also. When we apply a DC voltage, it is known as the biasing condition. So there are two biasing conditions for a PN junction. One biasing condition is known as the forward biasing, and another biasing condition is known as the reverse biasing. So either of these conditions is created by connecting an external DC voltage. So when you connect an external DC voltage and that to be in proper direction across the PN junction, you will get the two type of biasing, which is forward biasing and reverse biasing. So first we study the forward biasing. So in the forward biasing, what we have, source negative terminal is connected to N type and positive terminal to P type. So here you see we have a P region and we have an N region. So P region is connected to the positive terminal of the battery and N region is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Then in this case, the biasing is known as the forward biasing. So what happens is that the battery, that is the positive and the negative terminal, will push the hole and free electron toward the junction. So it is pushing the electrons and holes towards the junction. And when the barrier potential is more than the supply voltage, that is the battery voltage, the free electron do not pass the depletion layer. Means the barrier potential, this barrier potential should be, if it is more than the DC voltage, then electron will not pass the depletion layer. On entering the depletion layer, ions push them back into the N region, hence no current through the diode. So when the electrons is going, it will come back and there will be no crossing of the electron or no crossing of the holes, because you have a condition where the barrier potential is more than the DC voltage. Now under the condition when the DC voltage is more than the barrier potential, that will push the electrons and hole toward the junction. So the holes will move toward the junction and the electrons will move toward the junction when the barrier supply potential is more than the barrier potential. So the free electron will pass through the depletion layer and combine with the hole. Now the electrons will pass and it will combine with the hole when your supply voltage is more than the barrier potential. Holes in the P region moving to the right. So here you have the holes, it is moving towards the right, and free electrons will be moving towards the left, and somewhere in the junction vicinity opposite charges recombine. So somewhere we will be having a recombination of electrons and the holes. These free electron continuously moves right end of the diode and holds to the left end. There is a continuous current through the diode. So when you have applied the biasing, the holes are moving towards the right and electrons are moving towards the left, and there is a recombination. There is a continuous flow of the current through the diode. Now the next condition is the reverse biasing, which is just the opposite of the forward biasing. So here you will be having the negative terminal of the battery connected to the P region and the positive terminal of the battery will be connected to the N region. So it is opposite to the forward biasing condition. Then what will happen is that the negative terminal will attract the holes. So the holes which should move towards the right, now it is not moving towards the right, rather it is attracted by the negative terminal of the battery, causing them to flow away from the junction and widening the depletion layer. So if you see the depletion layer, it is widening when we are connecting the battery in opposite to the forward biasing, that is reverse biasing. So the depletion layer width will increase. So the newly formed ions increase the potential difference across the depletion layer. So this barrier potential will increase and holes and electrons will move away from the junction. So the holes and electrons now will move away from the junction, depletion layer width will increase and the biasing potential will increase, that is the potential difference. The greater the potential difference, that is the barrier potential, the wider the depletion layer. So the depletion layer depends upon the barrier potential, and if the barrier potential is more, the depletion layer will be more. When the depletion layer potential difference equals the applied voltage, it stops growing. So you have the supply voltage and you have the barrier potential. When these two are equal, then the depletion layer will stop growing and will become stagnant. Reverse bias prevents the current across the PN junction. So no current is flowing under the reverse bias condition. In the forward bias condition, the current will flow, but in the reverse bias condition, there will be no flow of the current across the PN junction. However, the reverse current caused by thermally produced minority carrier will call the saturation current. So under the reverse bias condition, you will have some minority carriers. These minority carriers are produced due to the thermally produced free charges, which are known as the saturation current. The word saturation means that we cannot get more minority carrier current that is produced by the thermal energy. So when you are giving thermal energy, the minority carriers are there, and that is known as the saturation current, and these saturation current are since produced by the minority carrier, it cannot be more, and hence the saturation term has been used. Also, a small current flows on the surface of the crystal known as the surface leakage current, caused by surface impurities and imperfections in the crystal structure. So together with saturation current, you have surface leakage current, and leakage current is due to the surface impurities and imperfections, whereas the saturation current is due to the minority carriers. Now if we compare the forward biasing with the reverse biasing, the p-type material is connected to the positive and n-type material is connected to the negative. Here if you see, the p-type in reverse biasing is connected to the negative and n-type is connected to the positive. So this is the polarity of the connection for the forward biasing and the reverse biasing. So if we talk about the current flow, large forward current will flow if the barrier potential is less than the supply voltage. So if Vs is more than Vb, then you will have the current to flow in the junction. So the current will flow like this. And when the reverse current is more, then only saturation current and surface leakage current will flow, because in this case the Vs is less than the breakdown voltage. So what happens is that current will not flow in reverse biasing condition, only saturation current and surface leakage current will be there. Here the depletion layer is narrow, here the depletion layer is wide. So forward biasing, if you see the depletion layer, it is very narrow, but for the reverse current, the depletion layer is wider. So in this particular lecture, we have compared the forward biasing and reverse biasing condition for the PN junction diode, and in the next particular lecture, we will take the things forward and understand like how the PN junction diode conducts and what are the different type of breakdown that occur in the PN junction diode. Thank you for now. See you in the next lecture.